Cabinet considered the report on basic commodities in terms of availability and challenges constraining the local industry as presented by the Honorable Vice President Dr. CGDN Chiwenga. It also included the analysis on ZIG as legal tender, the de-dollarization roadmap, which has now been put in place in terms of the presentation, which was done by the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion. Cabinet noted that some retailers and manufacturers have been reportedly utilizing the unofficial exchange rate in their business operations. And in order to promote the uptake of plastic money, the government of Zimbabwe will strengthen the mandatory licensing requirements for all business operators to have a bank account, a POS machine under the Shop and the Shop Licensing Act, and deploy inspectors to curb misdemeanors that militate against price stability and availability of basic commodities. Cabinet also noted that there is a proliferation of smuggled and counterfeit goods that are unfairly competing with local products, since the smuggled goods are not subjected to taxation and import duty. The government of Zimbabwe going forward will increase border patrols, increase the number of inspectors, and implement a whole-of-government approach to deal with the menace at border posts, and a review of penalties for perpetrators of unjust price hikes, the manipulation of the ZIG currency, smuggling, and all forms of unfair trade practices. The government of Zimbabwe is going to review the fines from a minimum of level 5 to a maximum of level 14 for the various offenses. Licenses will be rationalized and consolidated to be obtained in one centralized office. Cabinet also noted that there is a significant amount of unutilized industrial space in the form of empty shells, rail infrastructure, and other properties that belong to private and public entities, which have not been utilized by the owners. An interministerial task force will be established to focus on coordinating the identification of idle and abandoned industrial infrastructure spaces. Cabinet considered the update report on the Heroes Day commemorations and Defense Forces Day celebrations as presented by the Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare, Honorable July Moyo, who was the acting chairperson of the Combined Cabinet Committee on Honors and Awards and the Committee on State Occasions and National Monuments. The minting of 2007, the minting of independence medals has commenced, and the medals would be ready by the 9th of August 2024. His Excellency the President will confer medals during the Heroes Day commemorations, whilst the Ministers of Provincial Affairs and Devolution will confer other medals to identified recipients in their areas of jurisdiction. The draft list of recipients of medals from the Ministry of Veterans of the Liberation Struggle Affairs is now in place and will be gazetted by Friday, the 9th of August 2024. Pertaining to the Heroes Day commemorations, the nation is advised that the main event will be presided by His Excellency the President Dr. Idi Mnangagwa at the National Shrine, whilst Ministers of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution will read the President's speech in their respective provinces as per tradition. The program for the day remains as previously advised. The major update on the Defence Forces Day celebrations is that the select team from the Zambian Defence Forces will play the select team from the Zimbabwe Defence Forces at Rufaro Stadium. The program remains as previously advised. Cabinet received reports on progress made in the implementation of priority projects for the second 100-day cycle of 2024, as presented by the Ministers of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage and the Minister of Health and Childcare. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe, highlighted the following achievements in terms of the projects under his purview. The deployment of the new Zimbabwe population registration system is 75% in terms of completion. The computerization of 3 registry offices at Manama sub-office in Matabeleland South Province, Mpilo Hospital sub-office in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, and Bubi Registry Office in Matabeleland North is at 60% in terms of completion. The digitization of reports for Gutu, Rimba, Nemakonde districts is at 50% in terms of completion. And the establishment of an online border management system in Harare is 75% in terms of completion. The refurbishment of the Nambia Community Museum in Wange, Matabeleland North Province is at 50% in terms of completion. The Minister of Health and Childcare, Honorable Dr. Douglas Mumbeshora, reported that the following progress had been recorded in terms of the projects under his purview. The construction of 20 pharmacy stores is at 90% in terms of completion. The repair of cancer machines at Parenyatua Group of Hospital is at 76% in terms of completion. The installation of solar systems to 19 health facilities is at 97% in terms of completion. And the installation of a containerized laboratory at Salimu Gabe Hospital has been completed. And the construction of a water tank at Chitungwiza Hospital is still underway. Cabinet considered and approved the MOU between the Republic of Zimbabwe and Malaysia on cooperation in broadcasting, as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, who is also the chairperson of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The MOU between the Republic of Zimbabwe and Malaysia seeks to develop cooperation in media and broadcasting in terms of radio and television programs between the two countries. The MOU provides the areas of cooperation between the two parties as follows: the exchange of news and news material, the exchange of radio and television programs, cooperation in the field of radio and television productions, cooperation in the field of broadcasting technology, sharing of best practices and experiences, and promoting exchange visits between officials and experts in the areas of cooperation mutually identified by the parties, among other issues. Cabinet also considered and approved the MOU between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Mozambique on cooperation in the field of energy for the enhancement of energy supply, as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi. The Republic of Zimbabwe entered into an MOU to cooperate in several areas that make up the energy sector. Zimbabwe and Mozambique will benefit in areas that include trading in petroleum products, the utilization and development of petroleum infrastructure, investment and trade in natural gas, promotion of renewable energy, electricity supply, the generation as well as refurbishment and transmission reinforcement, the upgraded engagement will enhance investment in the energy sector and further improve the exchange of expertise, training, and technical support. Cabinet received and noted the report on the official visit to Nicaragua from the 10th to the 20th of July 2024 as presented by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. CGDN Chiwenga. The Honorable Vice President undertook an official visit to Nicaragua to attend the 45th anniversary of the Sandinista Popular Revolution on behalf of His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The 45th anniversary of the Popular Revolution was held in Managua on the 19th of July 2024. More than 700 international delegates from political parties and socio-political organizations from 17 countries around the world attended the event. His Excellency the President of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega Saavedra, expressed gratitude for the high-level representation from the various friendly countries and further called for increased focus on development and poverty eradication. In his solidarity message, the Honorable Vice President, Dr. Chiwenga, indicated that Zimbabwe was seized with creating an environment that enables all citizens to thrive and urged all revolutionary parties to take up the duty to ensure prosperity and to improve the people's standard of living. Cabinet also received and noted the report on the official visit to Paris 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games official opening from the 24th to the 27th of July 2024 as presented by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. CGDN Chiwenga. The Honorable Vice President attended the official opening of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics in France on behalf of His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The Paris 2024 Summer Olympics were officially opened by the President of France on the 26th of July 2024. The French President Emmanuel Macron emphasized three core values of the Olympics, namely excellence, respect, and friendship, and underlined the need to commit Olympics and Paralympics to future generations. As part of the Olympics program, the Vice President visited the Olympic Village to motivate the Olympians representing Zimbabwe at the Games. Zimbabwe fielded a team of athletes, most of whom are based and trained abroad. The nation is advised that there is a renewed interest by French companies to invest in Zimbabwe in the following areas: information communication technology, energy, civil engineering, project financing, agriculture, infrastructural development, and waste management, among other areas. The companies are scheduled to conduct business visits to Zimbabwe in the near future. Cabinet received and noted the report on the official visit to Iran for the inauguration of His Excellency President Masoud Pezeshkian on the 30th of July 2024, as presented by the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi. The nation is advised that the Honorable Vice President attended the inauguration ceremony for His Excellency the President of the Republic of Iran, which took place at the Islamic Parliament on the 30th of July 2024. And the Vice President was representing His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The inauguration ceremony was attended by delegates from 88 countries. In his inauguration speech, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Iran pledged to push for the removal of the illegal sanctions imposed on his country by the United States. He undertook to prioritize the country's neighbors, Africa and Asian nations, as well as countries that supported and helped Iran in its foreign relations policies. Zimbabwe is one of the countries in Africa that has always stood with Iran. The visit by the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi, offered Zimbabwe an opportunity to further deepen bilateral and economic relations with the Islamic Republic of Iran, as well as to foster mutually befitting synergies. Cabinet received and approved the hosting of the 29th Southern Africa Regional Climate Outlook Forum as presented by the Minister of Environment and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Stembiso Nyoni. Cabinet would like to advise that Zimbabwe will be hosting the 29th Southern Africa Regional Climate Outlook Forum in Harare from the 18th to the 30th of August 2024. This will bring together climate scientists from the 15 member states, including from our region, SADC, and they are expected to come up with a consensus in terms of the 2024-2025 rainfall season, which will then be shared with stakeholders around the region. The hosting of the Regional Climate Outlook Forum will offer an opportunity to our country to showcase to the region the national early warning system infrastructure which the Second Republic has invested in. I thank you.
Thank you very much.